right, guys, here is one I have been using for a bit with the help of Ted Van Vleck, helping to get my hammers to move better through that low point, keep my shoulders more squared, not rush the finish as I've talked about. I really like this. Is again another primer, a little bit more dynamic, but still very simple, not overly complicated to fry your brain before you throw. A nice way just to wake things up, would pair nicely with that low point, more isometric holds, and then I can work into this as I've set that position. I've activated things in here. So I'm just gonna start with my hammer out here. This is just a 12-pound hammer, and what I'm trying to do is just sweep just above the ground to simulate as if I'm coming over my head here into this low point. I want to catch as long arms as I can. I don't want to have my shoulders all scrunched up here. I don't want to overly spend time doing more of a gym, like hard set, hard packing, but I want this to be a more reflexive, more of a natural position that's athletic, long. It's ready to basically like a rubber band. It's very just pliable and reactive to this. So I'm here through that low point, arms long on the hammer, and I'm just sweeping through, and then I'm gonna take the other side and sweep through. And what I really like about this, I can put a cone out here for a visual, or I can just think blades of grass, like how many blades of grass can I reach out and push and hit. If I'm out here, I'd look like this. Again, upright, you're here. You're not so much super hingy position, and it's not so much of just a barbell squat. I like to keep that chest up a lot and find where that sits. Again, my feet are pretty well solid rooted momentarily, and again, this happens really fast. I'm all this weight shift going on through here, but this just allows me to hit that low point, be really solid, and able to make that transition through, or sweep through is what I like to think. Push through, or pushing through. We're not dragging the weight or ripping the weight out of orbit, and we're not letting that hammer go through without our hips. We're keeping all that in nice alignment as we're delivering that hammer. And this is just a very simple, non-threatening way to activate and get this thing moving. So just go across here and just lightly sweep the hammer, keep that ball in line with the chin and the shoulders right out in front. So all this moves together. It's gonna look a little bit mechanical at first, but we'd rather kind of overcorrect this a little bit rather than kind of half-ass the position. Rather really set this out, push out in front, heads up, on the side, here. Pushing out, I'm just kind of switching sides with my hands if I want to play around with that too. And then what we can work into with this, potentially would have my blades on now, but just playing around with this here right now. I can start pushing this around here and simulating this with a full throw. I'm not worried about what I'm doing over the top. I'm just hitting this position in a more active way. You could also play around with single if your release is your worst link, maybe your winds like me. My winds are nice and connected here. I'm long, but then on my release, I start to come through and rush, like I said. So that could be where you just do one wind, you pull across, you catch the weight through here, and then release overhead out into the field. You could repeat that a few times too. Again, pairing those, splicing those. If your body's not kind of sinking into it, go back through and simplify, do some other, all this stuff's very good after a general warm up. The other hammer drills really take time to open up, make the connection with the core linkage, your breath, body positions. You'll find a lot more room, a lot more mobility than you might have thought in your hammers. And ultimately those weights are gonna fly, the hammers are gonna fly a lot farther there too. So check that one out. And that was just the low sweep position here, that low point drill with a more dynamic flow across the body. So let me know how that goes, guys.